as you can see here, I am getting KC for next, completely AFK. I don't have a Zaros item equipped at all, so the monsters will immediately aggro onto me once they respawn. All I have to do is occasionally drink some prayer restore and telegrab some of the drops if I want to. This spot that I'm in is 100% safe, as I've lured all the dangerous monsters away so they can't reach me. They don't despawn because they're targeting me. There are only 7 dangerous monsters, 4 rangers and 3 melees, and I'll show you a step-by-step process to lure them all away. The only things that can reach me here in this spot are the Blood Reavers and the Mages. Both of them can just be protected from magic against. The setup for this is just a standard KC setup. You'll want to maximize prayer bonus through things like Devout Boot and Bone Crusher Necklace. If you have a T-bow, you can go ahead and bring that. If you don't have a T-bow, then the next best option is going to be like full crystal with a boffer. Unfortunately, a blowpipe is not quite long ranged enough. It has a 5 tile range, and the Reavers and Mages have, I believe, a 6 tile range. If you try and use it, you'll get dragged out of position and probably die, unfortunately, as a result. Bring a Zaros item along with you, but then also bring the corresponding switch for it, because in your final setup, you won't be equipping any Zaros items. As for the actual inventory, I recommend bringing about, say, 3 ranging potions and 2 antidotes. I would also recommend bringing a stamina potion and quite a few brews, about 5 brews while you're just learning the method. The reason for these are the method's a bit finicky to get the minions in the right position, and you'll end up running around a lot and tanking a lot of damage, and these are just there to mitigate this. Once you're a bit more familiar with the method, you can drop the stamina and you can drop down to maybe about 2 brews, but this is probably good for just starting out. 5 restores is quite a lot. That'll get you maybe, say, 500 KC or so. And then the last thing is I like to bring Law Runes and Dust Runes for telegrab and make sure that I'm on the normal spellbook. Being on the normal spellbook and telegrabbing the prayer potion and super restore drops means that you can stay pretty much indefinitely. You won't have to bank, and you won't have to unlure the monsters to go to the bank to get more prayer out. If you're a main account and you have an ult, you can also just resupply yourself with an ult and then not have to worry about that. For the actual method, there are 2 stages. The first stage, we will lure a bunch of rangers up in this northwest section, and for the second stage, we will lure the remaining ranger and a bunch of melees in this southeastern part. I recommend going and tagging the rangers that we want specifically. So you can tag them one by one. It's this ranger here, and also this ranger here. All the other rangers, other than the 4 that I'll tell you to mark in this video, they won't be able to reach you. So if you want to lure them, we can just tag them all and attack them, get their aggro. And I've got these orange tiles here, kind of meant to act as a bit of a guide for how to lure them. So step number 1, we'll go to the L1, which means lure 1 tile, and just pull them in. So go lure 1, and yep, they both drag past over here so they can both see me. Skip lure 2, I'll go straight to lure 3, and go over to lure 4, and now I go lure 5. Cool. So now everyone is behind this section here, which is the first step. This next little bit is where it gets a bit finicky. So since they are stacked on top of each other, you can't move left and right. Moving left and right is not enough to try and get them to drag into this section here. To help with this, you can just tag one of the Reavers. The fact that the Reavers move at half a tile per tick is really useful for this. So I'll go and grab this Reaver over here. Yeah, pull him into position. Sweet, cool. So now, yep, I'm tanking that. That's what the brews are for. This Reaver being here will now let this Ranger drag into position. So if I go from lure tile 7 over to lure tile 8, This Reaver moving slowly will cause that guy to fall into position, which is exactly what we want. Now that that's done, I'll just go ahead and kill off this Reaver and then start the next phase. Before we go any further, I should probably explain some of these extra tiles I've got marked here. These green tiles over on the right, the range deaggro tiles, if you step on any of these tiles, then one of these ranges will deaggro and you'll have to re-lure this whole spot. So make sure you don't go further than this tile here. This range reset tile over here will deaggro all 3 ranges. And so you can use that tile there if you want to just reset the whole lure. That's useful if you've got like mages and reavers on you and you just want to get rid of the ranges for whatever reason. Similarly, for the east spot, once we have all the melees in position here, if you want to fully reset the east spot, you can use this melee reset tile, this red melee reset tile over here. So the remaining minions that we want to grab are this melee over here, this melee over here, this one over here, and then this ranger. So these 3 melees and this ranger. I like to have them tagged in different colors, just helps keep them a bit visually distinct. You can use just tag colors in the just standard NPC highlight plugin. So the goal here is to tag all of these and making sure not to run over this range deaggro tile, because if you go past this point, then you'll have to redo the first part. This last part here is probably the most fiddly part of the whole method. I am actually re-recording this a second time because I've just been thinking about the method and trying to figure out the most efficient way to do it, and I think I've come up with a really consistent way to do it, which is much better than what I was showcasing before. So this ranger is the most annoying part of this whole method. Trying to get that into position behind this wall is what's really quite difficult. And what's majorly difficult is this melee deaggro zone here. You can't tag all 3 melees. I think this melee up here will deaggro if you walk to this tile here. So what we'll do instead is we'll tag the ranger first, drag him down to this position here, and then pick up the remaining melees, and then that should lure pretty easily from there. So let's grab the ranger to start off with. Make sure you don't go too far up because these guys can see you over the terrain. Grab you, and let's move down here. Yeah, perfect. Okay, cool. So this is the most annoying part of the whole method, just trying to get the ranger in this position. Once the ranger's in this position, just go and grab all the melees without dragging the ranger out of where it is. So let's grab, I think grabbing you first might be best play. All right, cool. Got you. I will grab you. Sort the melee prey. This one over here, and let's grab you. Cool. Didn't step on the range deaggro tile. That's the most important part. And tank this a little bit. Wait till the melee gets in. Great. Cool. And then now that they're here, dodge that a little bit. Make sure not to step on the deaggro zone. Just try and get these melees in this corner. Tank a little bit of damage. It's all right. Then go to the last tile. There's a 33, so quite a lot of damage sometimes. Great. Cool. And that's probably the cleanest cleanest setup that I've found so far of this. So from here, we are now in the safe zone, and none of these guys can hit us, none of these guys can hit us, and we can safely take off our Zaros item. From here, you're just free to AFK for as much KC as you want. I've marked this tile here in particular as dangerous, as just a reminder. I have at one point being dragged out of position, I guess from telegrabbing. I didn't quite see what happened. I got dragged to this tile and I died on this tile. So if there are any hardcores trying this method, I guess, just know that that tile is definitely dangerous. I believe it's that melee that's just gone out of view. That melee will tag you on this tile, but not on this tile where we're at right now. So this is completely safe. This is AFK. They occasionally drop blood essence and super assaults and prayer potions, and you can just grab those with telegrab, and you can stay here indefinitely and get as much KC as you want. As you saw, the whole process does take a solid 5 or so minutes. It gets quicker with practice, but since it takes so long, it's not really worth bothering with this method unless you are going to stack up quite a lot of KC. I'll probably be going for like 1,000 or so. The method is very chill. As you see, I don't need to be paying attention to my client at all. which is why I died before. I often will just let this go, check it every 5 minutes, drink some prayer, and I'll just play other games on the side. What I found is this is about 12 KC per minute, which comes to be 700 per hour. And yeah, this just makes it very chill. The last thing to mention are these yellow tiles here. I've been updating them as I've been developing this method kind of in real time as I've been making this video. The pinned comments will have the most up-to-date tiles that I have, and it should correspond to these tiles that I have here in this final closing section of the video.